Should you be worried if you have a petrol car? Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Clearly Ambiguous. What we are talking about today is blended fuel or blended petrol. So, essentially, everyone in this country who owns a petrol vehicle, they need to understand what the impact of ethanol blending could be on their vehicle. Now, what essentially is blended fuel or blended petrol? Blended petrol basically means that for every liter of petrol that you buy, there is a certain amount of ethanol that can be added. The percentage of it could range from anywhere between 5% to 20%, and now, as the government of India is proposing, 27%. Now, does that mean that when you use this fuel, it is as good as uh, petrol? Well, yes and no. First and foremost, let's understand why are we adding ethanol. The reason why the government wants to add ethanol is because obviously when you are substituting out of every liter of petrol, 200 ml is essentially ethanol and 800 ml is petrol. What you are basically doing is reducing the pressure to import, and 80% of the oil in India is imported, right? So obviously that saves government money. But that doesn't essentially mean that that saving of money gets translated, because if you look at the latest statement, the government of India, the petroleum ministry, what they are saying is that ethanol is expensive as well, and it is bound to happen once the demand of ethanol for mixing it in petrol will increase. It will increase the price of ethanol as well. So essentially, the advantage is passed on to the customer? No. So that is something that we need to understand, that now we are paying as much as we would pay for petrol, but we are not getting petrol. It's mixed, it's blended. Vehicle manufacturers have been upgrading their vehicles. Now, if you have bought any vehicle, petrol vehicle after 2023, your vehicle can support up to 10% of ethanol blending in a liter of petrol. But then again, what about all those vehicles which have been bought prior to 2023? Take for instance, if you have bought a vehicle in 2020 essentially, it would be registered for and you paid road tax for 15 years. So you can essentially use your vehicle, if you maintain it well, till 2035, right? 2035. Now, does blended petrol have a problem with the engine? Yes, it does create certain issues. First and foremost, the ethanol that is used. Ethanol is a less energy dense fuel compared to petrol. Now, anybody who has studied chemistry, hydrocarbons, and what energy density of fuels means, would understand that for every said amount of say, if you burn 100 a liter of petrol, the amount of energy that petrol will produce will be more than if you burn the same amount of ethanol, and this would definitely impact. How would it impact? It will impact your mileage. So you are essentially paying the same amount, but your vehicle will go less. So you will have to buy more, right? So it is increasing your fuel bill, albeit that you might not understand in short term, but over a long period of time, you would. Another thing is, ethanol is mixable with water. Now, what happens with that is that once you have water, see, there can be a certain amount of water in the fuel, that is okay. But when it goes beyond a particular point, the engine and the parts have to be treated in a particular way that the corrosion, the impact is negated. Of course, it will definitely increase your maintenance bill as well. So, one, you are probably paying same or more for what you are paying for petrol. Two, you are paying more because you are buying more fuel. Three, essentially, you are paying more for maintenance. Now, there was even a talk that the damage or the maintenance wouldn't be much because rubber parts have been changed, or rubber parts. See, if you even the gaskets and everything. See, I would encourage anybody who would like to do this to go to your vehicle manufacturer, to your service center, and ask them if your gasket of your engine blows up, right, or suffers a leak, how much would it cost to just replace the gasket? And you will realize that if you have to remove, see, if you understand internal combustion engines, you will understand that they've got made in blocks, and those blocks placed together are sealed by something called the gaskets. Opening and closing of the engine itself is a cost in itself, remove versus changing the gasket and all. So it's not going to be something which is, if as certain people in the government would like to believe that, it is, what do you call, the cost is not even very, how to put in a better word, significant, right? They might want to use the word that it might not be significant cost, but it is pretty significant to a person who would want to get it changed. So yes, increased cost of buying more fuel, increased cost of maintaining your vehicle, right? And yes, it is not cheaper, because the reason why the government is blending is to make the costs of it go down, and which is not being transferred. Somebody ended up saying, would it help you if government just made the fuel cheaper? Yes, it would. Because the amount of money that I could save by buying cheaper fuel and ruining my vehicle over a period of time, I might use that money for maintenance, right? So both could probably share the burden of the added pressure on the consumer. Another thing is, even with the vehicles which are ready to accept fuel which is E10, 10% of blending, they will be able to handle blended fuel, but up to a particular percentage. So suddenly, if now you're forcing that vehicle as well, so there will be an impact on even the vehicles which have been bought after 2023, which say that they can manage E20 fuel, or maybe even E10 fuel or E20 fuel, but possibly cannot manage E27 or E30 fuel. What eventually it does is it discourages us as a customer today to buy a new vehicle. Because one, the government wants to encourage you to buy vehicles so that the auto industry keeps going. But then again, if I can see, there might be a lot of people who might be selling their vehicles in shorter periods of time because of the simple access of finance. But there are a lot of other people. There are majority of car owners in our country are still those people who would want to use their vehicle not just for 2, 3, 4, 5 years till the new upgrade comes in, but they would want to use it for 10, 15 years as they paid the road tax for that. And mind you, when you buy a vehicle, you pay GST on it, right? And that is your basically ex-showroom cost. That is the cost of the vehicle plus GST, that is your ex-showroom cost. Once you buy the vehicle and you register it, so you pay road tax, so that is and you have to buy compulsory insurance, that is your on-road price, right? And once you've done that, you pay an extremely high amount of tax on fuel, which is blended right now. And now your vehicle will essentially give you less mileage as well as ask for more maintenance. And government essentially says that everybody who's saying that is basically a motivated troll. But then again, my motivation right now is not about what the fuel companies say about it. My motivation is that I am worried that I have a vehicle which I bought recently and I might not be able to use it for its full potential, for its full life cycle, and will have to spend more. And I would really appreciate from the government to reassure us. I do not want influencers to tell us anything. I would like case studies which are done. Because we talk about Brazil and everything. Brazil still has the option. Even after they are blending, and Brazil has an option where you can have 100% ethanol as well. Because you can buy a vehicle which drives on 100% ethanol. But still on petrol pumps in Brazil, you can still find certain places where you can have pure petrol. I have gone ahead and tried to ask most of the petrol pumps in and around me if they have 100% non-blended fuel. Even they are not sure. So think about it this way. Yes, probably charge us more, because if that's what it is all about, it's the financial motivation of mixing ethanol in the first place. Well, how about serving those customers who do not mind paying extra, but would like to only use petrol in their vehicles and not a blended option, right? You're probably going to charge them more, as you charge them for higher octane numbers on fuels, right? So premium petrol and all that. Because in certain cases, certain people have carried out experiments where even the premium fuels are already blended on petrol pumps. So I would want more reassurance from the government, and also probably an option where we could probably just pay a little extra and still buy pure fuel and have the mental peace that our vehicle will not suffer, and in turn we will not suffer, right? And we will still have a faith of driving our vehicle for the said 15 years. Anyways, that's all I wanted to speak about today. I hope there emerges more clarity out of the ambiguity there is. If you've liked any part of this video, please hit the like button. Share it with at least one more person who you think might want to watch this video. Please mention your thoughts in comment section. I have said that already. Sorry for repeating myself. Anyways, so thanks for watching. Keep watching. Until next time, you take care of yourself. Bye for now.